Hey, what do you say, ladies and gentlemen? Dan and I are excited to introduce our Buy Me a Coffee page. We've had a lot of listeners reach out and say, hey there, bub, we really appreciate what you do and want to support the show. Well, here's one way to do that without big corporations taking, 30% of the cut of your generosity. Just head over to www.buymeacoffee.com/bigbluebanter and chip in if you'd like to support us directly. Every contribution means a lot, and it helps keep the show going strong. We appreciate each and every one of you. Thanks for listening, and have a lovely day.
Welcome back. It's the Big Blue Banter, New York Giants football podcast. I'm Dan Schneier, joined as always my co-host Nick Filato. And man, one night later, I think I'm on like 2.5 hours sleep, massive headache. This was partly my fault, Nick. Like I woke up early to watch the tape, but I didn't have to stay up to 4:30 a.m. looking at my phone, scrolling through Twitter. And I watched the entire post-game Giants show with Madeline Burke and Sean O'Hara and Carl Banks. Then I watched all the interviews. Like, just one of those nights. Not that this was like a playoff win or anything close, but it just kind of felt like that. Like when you have those big wins as a fan of a team, that's what you do. You consume every ounce and piece of media regarding it. Any interview, I rewatched the game like on broadcast last night, and just you do it, and that's what you do. And it just felt like that kind of night, so I did it. But I'm excited for the show today because as tired as I am, I just shot another thing of espresso back there, and I'm letting it rip for this podcast. I'm all amped up. I'm all juiced up for this one, Nick.
I'm all juiced up. Let's get going. Yeah, no, Jaxson Dart letting it rip, by the way, with dimes throughout that game and not being rewarded as we spoke about on the last podcast. But offensively, man, like this was let's just say this. Collectively, this was a complimentary win. Special teams played well, few mistakes, but they played well. Defense played fantastic, and the offense played very well as well. And it's one of those things, man, where I'm just like, I feel like the New York Giants right now, and they've said this several times through the media, they are trying to get more physical and they want to impose their will up front more. And in this game, they did exactly that. And not only that, because Cam Scataboo fits so well into that rushing style of being physical, but they won with a diversified rushing approach, a bunch of different rushing styles, power, duo, hitting the edge, hitting the A gap, Skattebo finding the cutback lane. So overall, man, I want to applaud Mike Kafka for developing or Brian Daboll as well, developing that game plan and then calling the plays well to keep the Eagles on their toes and to make Vic Fangio look like he was the inferior coordinator.
Yeah, great point, Nick. And I don't know what the rest of the season entails for us. The Giants, by the numbers, have the hardest schedule remaining in the NFL by the numbers of win-loss records they're facing. So it is what it is on that front. But I know this, Nick, it's not going, no matter what, it's not going to be like some of these, if let's say they only win 5 or 6 games, it's not going to be like some of these 5-6 win seasons in the past, because during those 5-6 win seasons in the past, Nick, the wins were all against shit teams and backup quarterbacks. Remember that fake Gettleman year that everybody kind of latched onto, the Joe Judge year when they're beating like Browning, or I don't know if Browning wasn't whoever that Brandon Allen or whatever for the Bengals and crap like that. They've already had 2 insane wins. They had a win against a 4-1 Eagles team that won the Super Bowl last year and a win against a Chargers team that was undefeated at the time. So no matter what takes place throughout the rest of the year, there's going to be some wins in this season that are surprising to a lot of us. They'll go into the matchup just like they were against the Chargers and Eagles, not double digit, but more than 1 score underdogs, despite being at home in this one. I don't remember the Chargers, but it might have only been 6.5, 7, and then winning the game. And then as far as what you said, after the game, Cooper DeJean said he felt like the Giants out-physicaled us. I can't remember the last time an opposing player has said that about the Giants in so long. All we've heard is the opposite.
Absolutely. And I can see why Cooper DeJean would say that, because Cooper DeJean got ran over on that one counter run with Cam Scataboo. I think it was the only time the Giants ran GH counter in the game. And Cooper DeJean flew in from the backside and goes to lower his shoulder. And all you see is just 33's legs just go right up in the air as Cam Scataboo gets latched on by like 3 other Eagles. And it takes him like 2.5 seconds to bring him down to the deck, because the kid is just the Tasmanian devil out there. But yeah, I mean, the physical nature is something that I'm glad the Giants have focused on it in practice, and it's actually translating to the game, right? That's something that, how many times have we heard Brian Daboll or anybody on the New York Giants be like, yeah, we're working on it, we had a good week of practice and all this kind of bull crap, and then they go out there and they get punched in the mouth. Well, this time the Giants actually were Mike Tyson. They punched the opposing team in the mouth, and now that opposing team, their wings are clipped. They're not flying right now. I don't know if you've tuned into Eagles media, but it is on fire at the moment.
And I like what you mentioned a few minutes ago, Nick, about how how the Giants are getting a little bit more diverse in their run game, with their run scheme, with their run play calling. I heard today Jermaine Illuminor joined Justin Pennick. Shout out to Talking Giants. They did an interview with Jermaine Illuminor, and he was talking about how he really likes how the run game has started to really diversify over these last few weeks. And he credits, to be honest, this is according to him, which I found interesting, Nick. He credits the run success in recent weeks. The Giants have the second most rushing yards in the NFL since Jaxson Dart has become starter as a quarterback. He credits it to Jaxson Dart starting and what that does for the run game, and to Skattebo and the yards that he creates on his own. You can hear Jermaine say that in the interview. Maybe that's just being a good teammate, Nick, but from my vantage point, they are playing a massive role in how this run game has evolved into one of the NFL's best, at least as of late, since Jaxson Dart came into the game. And he said he even likes that they're starting to use him on pulling him as a tackle. He said that's where he feels like he's at his best in the run game.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, the crack toss to his side, he did a crack toss to Andrew Thomas's side. Both of them were exceptionally blocked up. And the Giants too. Look, if you're going to out physical another team, doing it through 12 personnel against another defense's base personnel, it kind of, I don't want to say it goes against the grain of what a lot of the NFL has done, because you have a lot of teams like Kyle Shanahan, who has used 21 personnel, with the fullback being another element of physicality. So I don't want to necessarily say that, but a lot of teams do run 11 personnel in the National Football League, and they look to out scheme you with speed. And it's not that the Giants aren't doing that, but the Giants, due to the injuries to Darius Slayton and Malik Neighbors, they've been forced to use a lot more 12 personnel, as they did in this game and as they did in the previous week. They used a lot of 13 personnel in this game. And when you use those heavier personnel packages, it's like, hey, one of the best ways to employ this skill set is to win through physicality, is to punch you in the face. And name me a better running back in the league right now. And I know this is maybe a little bit premature, but is there another running back in the league who is seemingly the RB1 on a team, who really just embodies, I'm going to get every tough freaking yard there is to get? That is Cam Scataboo, man. I mean, I know
I don't know if there's a back in the NFL. Let's run through this real quick.
Right? Like, I think that's a good thought exercise that may seem premature, but Let's
at this moment, with our division. Barkley, no. Merritt, no. Javonte Williams, no. Though I respect his game, he doesn't run like that, like Skattebo. Josh Jacobs,
Williams is deceptive with it, though.
He's a deceptive runner, and he has a little bit more like patience and set up the blocks, and he really has like these quick, small jukes. Like, I have all the respect for him. He's like one of my favorite fantasy guys to talk about. Still not what you just talked about, though, Nick. What you described a second ago, that style of physicality on every touch that Skattebo brings. No Jacobs. Jordan Mason is physical, but not like that. He's more of zone cut. Bears, no, of course not Swift. Definitely not the Saints. Not Bucky Irving, though he's special in his own way. I mean, Derrick Henry, I don't think so. I don't really know who would. I'm running like, what are we going to get to? Is there anyone really? Is there anyone in the NFL who runs?
And again, like Derrick Henry, obviously he's Derrick Henry for his reasons, but we're talking about right now is
Henry can go 75. Scott can't.
Yeah, Cam Scataboo, just when it comes to, I'm going to lower my shoulder through this player, and I'm just going to keep my feet moving. And I'm 5'7", 5'8", right? I think he's listed at 5'10", but he's short. Yeah, exactly. He has that really low center of gravity. And that plays, to circle this all back, that plays directly into the Giants wanting to be the more physical team. Cam Scataboo, Jaxson Dart's legs, holding backside pursuit defenders, the RPO plays that the Giants are trying to rely on, that also keeps this entire defense that they're going up against, like, guessing like, oh man, they might throw that bubble. I don't want to be out mathed outside. But right now, clamping down on the rushing attack seems like the smarter, more ideal path for these defenses, because the Giants are generating push at the point of attack. And if you get Cam Scataboo up against a safety, he might run through his freaking face.
And there's just some contagiousness, it feels like, to what the Giants are doing, right? Like, as we watch this tape today, yesterday, or this morning, I should say, and we go over it tonight, there were moments where I thought, just looking downfield, great blocks by the receivers. Looking at the line of scrimmage, great blocks in the end of the line of scrimmage. I thought Andrew Thomas had his best run blocking game in the season by far. I thought the Giants as a whole had their best run blocking game across the board on the offensive line. GVR had moments too. We can run it at any point, but I put together, Nick, a little cut up of the Giants bully ball at the end. They had the ball back with 6:50, Nick. They ran 9 plays. Here it is. These are the 9 plays the Giants ran of 6:50 left in the game. And Austin Schlottman who, by the way, played unbelievable in relief given the situation. They ran 9 plays and then got to kneel the game out. One was a pass. It was a bootleg throw out to Skattebo. But other than that, they just bullied the Eagles. They wanted it more.
Yeah, they wanted it more, and none of it was too exotic. A lot of it was just 13 personnel, I formation. Daniel Bellinger is going to be the fullback, and we're going to run off tackle to the right or to the left, and then we're going to run off tackle to the right. And we're going to hit the cutback, and then we're going to run one polar power, right? And then we're going to hit Cam Scataboo in the flat to really seal the game. And that's the play that you're watching right now on YouTube. So it wasn't all that exotic. And I would say it's reminiscent of the Jacksonville Jags game from 2022 where Saquon Barkley, but that was the same exact play over and over again.
Right.
And it was a close game. This one was just like, this game is over. We just want to get out of here. We're going to run the football, not give it back to Jalen Hurts. Oh, 2-minute warning. I guess we'll just kneel now. That's what we can do. That's where we're at right now with the state of this football game. And that's just something that we're not used to at all as Giants fans.
And it's contagious. You could see how all these players are blocking at the end of the game. They don't need to be playing this hard. They are because they're enjoying it. And they want to be this team that's out physicaling you. Devin Singletary gets a little opportunity in the end, and he finishes the job with a first down. And then you just look downfield on all those other plays, that Wan'Dale Robinson broken touchdown. There's blocking downfield. It's just a contagious feeling that's taking over. And they're building, I think, an identity on the offensive side of the ball. It won't always look like this, obviously. But there will be games this year where it does look like this, where the Giants have just built this identity on offense. As long as Skattebo stays healthy, he really just creates so much out of nothing. You had the stat last night, I think, from Next Gen Stats, and then there was one today that I'm going to try to find on the season. But I think, and you might have posted it today as well, just the yards created and yards after contact that he's had.
Yeah, no, Cam Scataboo, over the last 3 weeks since he has absorbed most of the carries and was the starting running back for the Giants after Tyrone Tracy Jr. left the Cowboys game with that shoulder injury, he has total 251 yards after contact. That's the second most in the NFL over that span.
It's 3 games, bro.
Yeah, and 79 of his 98 rushing yards against the Eagles were all after contact. So I mean, and I would say this isn't just Cam Scataboo. Like, I do see the Giants blocking better up front, but sometimes you're not perfect up front, and somebody might squeak in and hit you with an arm, and that's after contact. And we've seen backs in the past of the New York Giants go down because of that. But Cam Scataboo, it's a nightmare for defenders to find a way to get this guy on the ground. Again, because he runs so low, because he is so physical, because he has that contact balance, because he's deceptively quick, and he has excellent vision. He really does have kind of the entire package other than deep speed. And coming out of the draft, and this was the reason why he fell, at least according to Cam Scataboo himself, he didn't really have the blocking chops, which we saw on tape. It was pretty obvious, actually. But I think he internalized that. He was like, I'm going to work on my blocking. And now it's like, oh, I have an opportunity to block, even though the play was thrown to the opposite side. I'm going to run through this guy as best as I can, as we've seen through the last 3 weeks. So he's like, okay, I fell to the 4th round. Cool. Because of my blocking, I'll show you that I can block, and I'm going to do the best job I can do in every facet of being a New York Football Giant. And you're right, that is infectious. And what's so cool about that, Dan, is he's a freaking rookie. So is Jaxson Dart, a freaking rookie. And they're setting the tone right now for the New York Giants identity, those two players specifically.
I'm buying this guy, Jaxson Dart and Cam Scataboo. I mean, we're talking about what? 2, 3, 4% of the Giants salary cap over the next 4 or 5 years combined. The things you can do if these two continue to play at the level they're playing at with your roster, especially if you go, and they will go and they should go. And if they don't, I will criticize it. The Howie Roseman, the Kansas City Chiefs, the route of just kicking the can and starting to just disregard the cap entirely, which is what you should do and you're supposed to do. Once they do that, Nick, they could go really all in on this thing and get quality interior offensive linemen in here to really help them grow. Another defensive tackle, a corner, obviously more receivers. So there's just so much upside if they can continue to play at this level.
And if the coaching can get the most out of them too, because we saw wrinkles in this game plan. We talked a lot about the diversified rushing attack, but the Giants were also gassing plays, right? Like, we know the Giants used a lot of split back here with the pony personnel, which they ran, I think, 9% pony personnel, meaning 2 running backs in the game for them. And a lot of the times they'll either align Wan'Dale Robinson or Tyrone Tracy Jr. next to Cam Scataboo, split back shotgun, and then they'll orbit that player around and send them as a fast 3. And then they'll just throw it, and then you have 2 stalk blockers. The Giants gassed off that. Now, nothing happened, but I like the fact that they're in the red zone and they're putting in the minds of the Eagles, hey, we're doing that little orbit, and we've already shown you this, and now we're going to run little Jordan Humphrey, who is pretty slow, not going to lie. Not the fastest guy in the world, but he deserves a spot because of the blocking and because of he's a jump ball maven out there, right? But on that one play, they ran little Jordan Humphrey, and I think it was Jalen Hyatt down the field, fake stalk block, go. Nothing ended up materializing from it, but it's just another little wrinkle that we're seeing, that and all the different formations the Giants are using with the pony package and all the things like that to just kind of force the defense to guess. And I just love too how Jaxson Dart was so poised against the pressure packages from Vic Fangio, whether that be simulated or just blitzing. There were plays where where the Eagles would send a blitz, and then Jaxson Dart immediately knew where it was coming from and knew that now I have a safety against a number 2 receiver. I'm just going, the football's out of my hand before anybody even comes into his area code. And then Wan'Dale Robinson has like a 6, 7, 8 yard gain. Like that kind of stuff, those little things. Like we talk a lot about Jaxson Dart off script, Dan, but we should talk about Jaxson Dart on script and Jaxson Dart in the quick game, because he had so many plays in this game that impressed me when it just came to his ability to operate the offense in rhythm within the structure of the offense itself.
I completely agree with you. And that's when that's when the film really comes into play for us, at least in our analysis. I mean, I went into this game incredibly impressed with Dart, expecting good things when I watched the tape. Somehow came away even more impressed after watching the tape. And it's not for the off script stuff, which we knew and we saw in the broadcast. It's for how quickly he moves through stuff, man. Like, I can't believe, first of all, I went over the numbers last night. Jaxson Dart was unbelievable against the blitz last night. 100 over 100 quarterback rating, 11 of 14 or something. One of those completions was that Theo drop or whatever you want to call it. And then there was another one that was on target as well. He was almost flawless against the blitz. And there are other times, Nick, where he's either simulated pressured or not blitzed at all, but they're just rushing for. And I think he's impressive in my mind when he looks to one side. You could watch his helmet on a lot of these plays, look to the side. It's not there, and he comes off of it so fast. There was one late in the game where he tried to hit Humphrey on a vertical route, and I think it was a flag on the defense or something, either illegal contact, I believe. And he just comes off his initial read so fast, flips his helmet around, resets the pocket with a jump hop, and then throws. And there's the other one late in the game, the conversion of Wan'Dale, which we'll go over. I'm sure you may have it. If not, I have it. Where it's just like, I see what his head is doing. He looks post snap. It's not there. He comes off it, but while coming off of it and coming back to the right side to find Wan'Dale, he also does this really interesting thing, this subtle movement where he kind of resets the pocket by gaining a little bit more depth, and then he throws that ball and drives it right to Wan'Dale perfectly on the money. One of the best throws of the game. It's one of his 3 best throws of the game. So it's the way he's calm and collected, but it's also the way he's just reading things out really well. And then there's other moments like the play to Humphrey, and you know we can run this one for multiple reasons.
Oh, you talking about the deep throw?
Yeah, this deep throw to Humphrey, where you could see this one too. He's reading that safety. And as that safety takes a little bit of step down on Theo's over, he knows he just has it. And that's what you want. That's what we've been asking for. Now, I also ran this play, Nick, not just to show that Dart is reading out that safety, and once he commits to Theo, he knows he can take the deep shot, but because this may straight up be the slowest. Now, all due respect to Humphrey, Lil Jordan, the Giants don't win this football game without him. The blocks he made in the catches, and they might have won last week with them. With that said, this is the single slowest go route I've ever seen since I started watching tape. No offense. I also think, Nick, with even a 4.55 athlete, this is a touchdown throw. Like, if you just watch and pause where the ball ends up dropping, it's dropping in a really good spot, dude. But he is chugging downfield, Humphrey, at insanely slow pace. No offense to him.
No offense to him. I mean, I'm sure he knows that's his Achilles heel as a professional wide receiver, and the things that he does well came up in this game, right? Like he's boxing dudes out, even though he doesn't necessarily have leverage. I thought that was a really good throw by Jaxson Dart too, because he could have put more on it, but he underthrew it, allowing, because the position of the cornerback was it was excellent position.
And what do you think about that read and throw by Dart on that one?
Yeah, I mean, it's great. Yeah, I mean, the safety stayed put because the Giants love running Y cross. It's something that they do quite frequently. So that safety likes to, on the backside, likes to sit on that Y cross. And you saw on that play that Theo Johnson was going across the field. The Giants dial up a lot of plays for Theo Johnson. Like there might be like big plays for Theo Johnson or big games coming for Theo Johnson. I know he had the 2 touchdown game.
He has to play his part. Yeah.
That's my point. Can he ever live up to his potential? And look, man, he's a phenomenal blocker. I would say that he is a very good tight end blocker. The Giants have two exceptional tight end blockers in Theo Johnson and Chris Manhertz. And then they had their third, Daniel Bellinger, being a very good blocker, to a good to very good blocker. He doesn't have the same frame, but he's still better than some of the tight end blockers we've had in the past. And that's another reason why the Giants are being successful when they are running the football, especially out of these heavier personnel packages, as we mentioned before. But how many times over the last couple of weeks, especially since Malik Neighbors has left, have the Giants did the post, the wheel, well outside the numbers? They fake the pitch to Cam Scataboo, and then you have Theo Johnson crossing the field. It's just, he's not really creating the separation that is needed for that play to be successful. Hopefully some of these other defenders will find a way, because even though I'm happy with, well, I don't even know. I wouldn't say I'm happy with what I've seen from Theo Johnson. Theo Johnson has done some good things. He's still frustrating to watch on tape because he just seems to be a slow lumbering athlete out there when I'm like, why? Like, why are you so
A little
slow?
uncoordinated at times, it
Yes.
looks like too. Which is, honestly, I think you had a good read on this, Nick. When he came out into the draft, he had the Jimmy Graham, mock draftable, where it's like the craziest, not the RAS score, the best athlete ever at tight end. But like you were like, I don't know. I mean, the tape is like not backing that up really to any degree. But I think that can happen sometimes for like more straight line athletes, which I don't even know if he really is. But there's aspects of his game that still are good, right? Like he made the big catch at the end on that 3rd and 8, and the blocks, man, the blocking. Because there's a thing, like let's say like if they're running Y cross, like I'm bringing this up because you just talked about this, and it's like let's just use Dolchich for now. Like imagine him out there. He'd be getting open on that a lot and making big plays in the pass game. But then you have him in the same play. You have him on the field in that same spot, and you want to run a run play. He's going to kill your run play, and Theo Johnson is going to give you a chance on the run play.
Yes.
So to me, and I understand why the coaches view it this way too, they're going to take that second scenario every time over the first, because sometimes Theo will make the play in the pass game too.
Is Daniel Bellinger the most well-rounded tight end on this roster?
Yeah, honestly, I think he should be playing more than Theo, and I stand by that. No offense, and I respect Theo. And maybe he doesn't offer as much in the run game or doesn't allow him to be as diverse in the run game, which I can kind of understand. But I think he would be a better a receiver in these spots.
Yeah. Either way, though, hey, it's the Giants' tight end position is not the problem with this offense. Tight end position is deep and talented, and it still has potential, I would say. I just think we need a little bit more from Theo Johnson. The wide receiver room, that is an issue, but they showed up in this game, did they not? Right? As Wan'Dale Robinson and Darius Slayton, everyone is letting all of us know on Twitter, and Hyatt too, right? I mean, Bo Collins is earning some reps. He didn't get any targets in this game, but he's out there. You got little Jordan Humphrey, so the Giants were able to do enough in the wide receiver room to win this football game. And Wan'Dale had a couple clutch plays, just key plays, and he was open on that touchdown for like 2.5 seconds. It seemed like he was just chilling there open because Makuba got screwed up in the mesh point. And that was right. They tried running cover 1, and Wan'Dale Robinson just cooked Makuba. Makuba got caught on a tight end for some reason. And good on Jaxson Dart for finally finding him. And then we had the play at the end of the game, splitting the two zone defenders. Great by Wan'Dale Robinson. So
good concentration, makes the catch, gets undercut, still comes up with the ball. Like things that, at times people are like, oh, is he going to come down with the ball? I feel like Wan'Dale Robinson, a lot of these tough catch spots does come down with the ball. It's not, his issue is more like if it's a little extended and away from his frame, that's when he really has an 100% problem.
100%, man. And yeah, dude, like we saw some zone, like they were mixing up man and zone, Vic Fangio. And when they would go into this cover 3 shell, Jaxson Dart quickly processed that. And what was it? I'm going to hit a quick flat. I'm going to stress your curl flat defender because we have a 2-man route concept over there where the number 2 is going to hold the curl flat. And then I have Jalen Hyatt going up against the deep third vertical, and he's just going to run 6 yards and go right towards the sideline. He's going to be open every time. And he was a lot. And I want to applaud Jaxson Dart for quickly being able to process that and find the answer.
So the thing is this, Nick, like someone asked us last night, has your opinion on the ceiling of Dart changed at all since your evaluation of him in the draft? And for me, the answer was yes, mostly because of the strides I've already seen him take as a processor. It's kind of shocking to me the way that he's processing defenses right now. Not in the sense of like, I didn't think this was coming, just in the sense of like, we didn't know because of what he ran at Ole Miss. We didn't know because of that system. We didn't know because there were so many times when we were watching him at Ole Miss and there was an open receiver. Let's be honest. Like Lane Kiffin does a great job. But we always said like that doesn't mean he can't do it. It just means that he hasn't shown it because he hasn't had to, because Ole Miss is just getting people open all the time. But now I'm kind of seeing a player who is shocking me in how fast he's picking up a lot of things, blitz protections, like where defenders are rotating to, where he's going to get pressure from, where the space is going to be post snap. That to me is unbelievable. How fast he comes off that first read is still crazy to me.
And you know what, where we might have made a mistake with Jaxson Dart, and we weren't low on Jaxson Dart coming out of the draft, but something maybe we should have looked at, and maybe this is premature as well, but I want to propound this idea and maybe we can all learn from it.
Propound away.
Something that was obvious on tape for Jaxson Dart was his innate ability to maneuver the pocket and find answers at the college level. That ability to extend the play. We did talk a lot about that. But having that as a baseline in the NFL, now will that translate to the NFL is a big question mark. And I think that's where we were fair in saying we have to wait and see it. But now we saw it in preseason. We're starting to see it in the regular season. And having that as a foundation for a quarterback, I think is vital and important while he is still young and able to learn how to play quarterback, basically.
Interesting.
Right. And he's learning right now. He's going to learn for the next several, probably years, right? How to master the quarterback position and how to really hone in on the nuances and every little detail about thriving as a quarterback. But right now, it does seem like in the pocket, he has this innate ability to keep his eyes downfield, find a rushing path, stress the defense, and then get rid of the football, a la what Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes learned to do as professional quarterbacks when it comes to just them extending plays and pushing towards the line of scrimmage and sucking defenders closer to the line of scrimmage and then finding an answer like we saw with Gunnar Olszewski in the preseason. So that is maybe it's not always a translatable trait, but it seems like it's translated because that's something we did see quite often from Jaxson Dart at Ole Miss.
And he's talked about how he molds his game in some ways after Jalen Hurts. And I can see Hurts doing that some, but I still come back to the comp that somebody gave in the preseason to us. And then I've just kind of hyper-focused on it since, and I see it when I watch the tape. The Tony Romo comp to me is really good when it comes to Jaxson Dart. It's a really good comp. And I know some Giants fans will think, oh my God, you're comping him to Tony Romo. Well, first of all, we don't know what Jaxson Dart is going to be like if and when he gets to the playoff opportunities. We do know that in his first primetime opportunity, he looked unbelievable. So let's just start by saying that.
First off, I'm sorry. Can I just say, like, I would sign up for Tony Romo in a second.
Oh, me too. Me and you have very different opinion of Romo than most Giants fans do, though, I think, because, it's a narrative-based league and sport, and he didn't win the playoff. It's what we hear for Stafford. So we hear for a lot of these guys, but we're like looking at it from a different perspective, you and I. We're not maybe assigning as much to the I don't know how to explain it, but
no, we're not assigning as much to the result because Tony Romo never won a Super Bowl and didn't have as much playoff success, but he was consistently getting them there. I don't lay that completely at the feet of Tony Romo. I lay that at the entire organization. I lay that at the fact that those guys that they went up against were better than them in those certain spots. But I don't look at Tony Romo, this guy just doesn't know how to play in the playoffs. It's like he just forgot how to win in the playoffs. No, I just think he just didn't. But that doesn't mean
he had some bad interceptions. There's no doubt about it. It was also a different era of football. A lot of quarterbacks had a lot of interceptions. You go look at the stats of his era, there were a lot more interceptions because the NFL was called a completely different way. There was no defensive holding calls, essentially. So you're just able to play really physical as a DB, and there was tighter coverage. But regardless, that's another point for either way. Like I can see the comp, and I really like the comp. But I love that point you made about like how prepared it is, because I think as we watch the tape, Nick, and I'm curious if you agree with me on this or disagree. We're going to today subscribe a lot of praise to the Giants offensive line. The Giants offensive line has played phenomenal football. But I do think as you watch the tape, you see that a quarterback like Dart also makes the Giants offensive line look a lot better, because these times where he's making these magical movements, almost like they're like innate magical movements in the pocket to create space, a lot of quarterbacks are taking sacks on those. And then it's like, well, the Giants O-line gave up 5 sacks. How good did they play? It's like, well, the quarterback played a role in that sack, and he is minimizing the pass rush in a lot of ways. Now, again, the offensive line's playing phenomenal football, but he's also helping them.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's the best way to play football right there.
Yeah.
Complementary football within one unit. And that's just the offensive line blocking well. And then Jaxson Dart finding answers with his arm, with his legs, with his eyes, and not suffering these debilitating sacks, right? Like these, it's first and 10. Oh, now it's 2nd and 16. How many times have we seen that? You know what I mean? We saw that a lot. Jaxson Dart has not put the Giants offense in that position. I'll be real with you guys. Selecting underwear is a burden of responsibility. This cloth, this material, it lives so close in proximity to the most personal areas of our lives. And that's why you need to find underwear that actually fits well, that is comfortable, that treats you with the respect that you deserve. And that's exactly how I felt when I discovered Skims. My personal favorite of Skims is the cotton 5-inch boxer brief. I've tried every boxer brief in the game, but this one finally nails it. They hit right on the thigh and actually stay there. No riding up, no bagging out, no awkward 5 p.m. wedgie that you need to adjust in front of a subway full of people. The fabric feels soft but durable, and it keeps its shape. Bottom line, I feel comfortable. I feel confident, and I don't have to think about my underwear all day. That's a win. If you've been sleeping on Skims men, it's time to check them out. Shop Skims Men's at skims.com and let them know we sent you. After you place your order, select podcast in the survey and pick our show in the drop-down menu that follows. Jaxson Dart is finding a way to escape. He's finding a way to make the quarterback spy look silly. He's finding a way to keep the play alive while the receivers, who he worked a decent amount with, right? Through like little Jordan Humphrey and all these guys. He worked a decent amount with these players through the preseason and through training camp. And there seems to be some sort of rapport that has developed with him and some of these younger players as well. So I don't know, man. I love it. I just love the fact that they have that.
And I'll say this, when you consider all the lost yards, either due to drops, the Humphrey drop, or the Hyatt penalty, the Theo drop, and then what I deem to be, could have been God knows how many yards that Humphrey route we ran a little earlier. I really think I watched that route like 10 times, Nick, on the All-22. I saw the ball drop into a certain spot outside shoulder where I think Neighbors runs under that 1,000 out of 1,000 times, by the way. But
100%, yeah.
If you consider all that, it's pretty clear he outdueled Jalen Hurts in this game, in my opinion.
100%. I don't even know how that could be arguable. Jalen Hurts looked like he did not look good on tape. He was missing guys, like not just with his arm with the Devonta Smith play, but there were guys that were open.
Yeah.
AJ Brown was open on the Cordell Flott interception. That would have been a touchdown. Could have changed the game.
Read.
Yeah, and there were
obviously the Devonta Smith miss is one of the most egregious ones you'll see.
AJ Brown also was open on the third and 10 where he dumped it off the Saquon Bar. He was like chilling for like a second and a half, man.
Yeah,
so
which we got lucky on that one.
Got very lucky
on that one. But yeah, it's just exciting to see a Giants quarterback outduel a Super Bowl champion quarterback.
Yeah, and speaking of, let's just watch. These are all incomplete passes. I just want to show everybody just the touch and the arm talent that Jaxson Dart showed on these 3 throws. This is the one that was dropped by little Jordan Humphrey. We ended up scoring on the drive anyways, but you could just see
the Endzone angle of that by chance.
I do. Look how graceful that is, right over the top of 8. Who misjudged it a little bit, but still it's high. Like this is such a good freaking throw by Jaxson Dart. I'm so upset that he wasn't rewarded for that. And you'll see it. I wish you saw it from the other angle, but you'll see it a little bit on
got
this
to
one.
Play with this man. Neighbors would be so excited to get a pass like this.
Look at that. That is perfect ball placement, thrown with great tempo. Oh man, just
roll back to the actual throw. Look at the arm slot. I don't know if you had the same angle I had on it. I think I had the other view, but you can you can see it there. Look at that arm slot. That's a 3-4 throw. Like watch his arm, man. That is such a the way he throws this football is the reason it has this kind of trajectory and touch. It's like a shortstop.
Yeah, it is like a shortstop.
Flicking that thing in there.
I don't know if that's the best footwork. I would
no. It's amazing he can get that it's amazing he can get a throw off. Like look at the feet. The feet's crazy to actually get the ball placement he got on this throw.
Exactly.
With his footwork like that, which actually goes to show that he actually has great arm talent. And he just needs to get the footwork down.
Here's the 3rd and 2. This is another well-placed football upfield shoulder of Theo Johnson against the blitz. He diagnoses it. He sees 53 work over, and he's like, I'll just put it right over 53's head, right in the breadbasket for Theo Johnson, who drops it and then poops it out too, which was
someone said, some will argue that he was interfered with.
I don't think no.
I kind of agree with you on that.
You're even if you're a 6'5", 270-pound tight end against what, like a 195-pound safety. Catch the freaking football, dude.
Look at this
right
ball
there.
Placement. Oh my God, what a dime. I mean, this was the other thing. Like, in addition to just how calm and collected he was and how well he was moving through his reads and diagnosing things and getting off the first read, the ball placement was just so good in this game. This is by far and away his best game from a ball placement standpoint.
100%. And also, Theo, like, what are we doing allowing the ball to hit us in the shoulder?
Right. Attack that.
Get it, bro.
Yeah. Good point.
Dude.
Good point.
And then here's the 3rd one that I wanted to go over, the Jalen Hyatt one. This was probably the best throw of the 3. Just far hash, under pressure, just heaves it up. And I wish the guy shooting the All-22 did a better job here. It was pretty poor on his part.
Agreed.
Do better, New York Giants guy. But just heaves this football up, and it just falls gracefully over the top of Keely Ringo into the hands of Jalen Hyatt. And it's, again, unfortunate that it wasn't rewarded. But the Giants,
while getting pressured, while getting hit.
Giants got the penalty.
In a lot of ways, reminds me some of the touchdown throw to Humphrey in the preseason against the Bills.
Yeah, a little bit. But that's a phenomenal play right there by the Giants' young rookie quarterback, man. Exciting times.
Perfect ball placement. Really just I was so surprised with how good some of these throws were. I mean, not surprised, I guess it's not the right word, but just enthused by it. Like, he's taken a step forward. He's more confident than he's been. And I mean, look, Nick, he's doing it with Humphrey, Wan'Dale Robinson, and Jalen Hyatt out there.
I know.
It's something to think about. Neighbors are going to be back on the field next year, and they're going to have resources to improve at the wide receiver position. So I'm excited about it.
Before we get into the film review, Dan, I think we just need to discuss Andrew Thomas, because
why not?
This offensive line is night and day without him. And I don't even think they were terrible without Andrew. It was like, you have a weak link in James Hudson.
Yeah.
Marcus Bo is a rookie, but the offensive line was passable. Now, the way they're playing, run, pass. He's been elite lockdown. Trust him on an island. He can handle any responsibility, any assignment, and he's going to do it at an elite level. Like I look, I don't let me say this because people will take it out of context. I don't watch the all 22 of every single NFL team, but I'd be hard pressed to imagine there is a 26-year-old offensive tackle playing as well as Andrew Thomas is right now, a young tackle playing as well as Andrew Thomas is right now.
I mean, you can just look at the numbers. The numbers are clear and obvious with it. He has the highest rate of being on an island, which means they just shift the protection, and he's just one-on-one against an edge who always has the advantage from an angle standpoint, essentially. And he has the lowest pressure rate allowed. I think he's been credited for 3 pressures in 3 games now, 0 hits, 0 sacks. I don't even know if one, like watching the tape, I feel like one of those wasn't even on him. So it is what it is. But in addition to that, and you could run it, I think you have a cut above it, Nick. I felt like this was the game where he looked his best in the run game too. And I feel like that is starting to come for him.
Cut up is not in the deck right now, by the way.
Okay, all good. But that is also part of what's coming along too. Like he's engaging and he's being up, it's like I said, it's contagious, their run game right now. They are creating push up front, which we haven't seen in a long time. And he's a big reason why. Yeah,
and Austin Schlottman, credit goes to him, right? He played phenomenally in this game.
He really did.
And so did John Michael Schmitz, right?
I thought GVR had his best game too. I was excited to see some decent GVR.
GVR is like an important part of this offensive line. I mean, he's played poorly this year relative to what we expected from him, which is crazy because he's like a 35-year-old at this point.
But he played good last year, so we expected it.
But he's usually the puller. Like he pulled a lot more. He pulls a lot more than John Runyon does. So they pull him towards the John Runyon, Andrew Thomas side because Andrew Thomas is going to take that 4 technique, that 4 eye shade, or that 3 technique along with John Runyon, and they're going to eliminate him. They're going to get rid of that dude every time they do. And Andrew Thomas gets up to the second level. He's like, "Oh, hi, what's going on, Zach Bond? You're not getting away from me." Rah! And he just grabs him, right?
Yeah.
And then you have GVR coming around to kick out the end man on the line of scrimmage, creating this hole for Andrew Makuba to be like, "Oh shit, I need to get in the hole and try to tackle Cam Scataboo." That sucks. The Giants are just having so much success with those power runs. And we saw it a little bit against the Saints last week. It wasn't as effective, but they at least incorporated a couple more of those. We're just going to pull our backside guard to the front side, and it's just power football, baby. Old school power football. Let's get it going. They incorporate the GH counter, the crack tosses, man. Ooh, I love seeing some good, well-executed
when it works. Yeah, it's great when it works, and it has been working. And now every time an opponent plays the Giants, even these good run defenses, they're going to know, we're going to get hit today. This offensive line is going to come at us, and Cam Scataboo is just running right into us. We have to step up. These alley defenders, like you're saying, like Makuba and whoever the Giants face in these coming weeks, are going to have to know that when they fill, they're not filling a running back who's going to be trying to juke them and kind of moves laterally and they can kind of go at their legs. No, this dude's just coming right at them, head up, and they have to take those hits all game long.
Look, we sometimes forget that these are human beings, right?
Yeah.
And they get paid a lot of money. But have you ever been in an uncomfortable situation and then your uncomfortability keeps increasing because of certain factors, right? The wind, it's cold, whatever. In football, it's a physical thing. It's oh my gosh, I got to freaking sit here and tackle. We hear a lot of people talk about this, right? When you have a running back who's very physical in the fourth quarter, you're tired. You really don't want to make that tackle, right? Not every defender the Giants are going to go against. Not all of them are going to be Tay Banks, but after 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 big hits from Cam Scataboo running full speed in you, they slowly devolve into Tay Banks.
You see Adoree Jackson on the touchdown run. He wanted no part of any contact.
Yes. These guys just fade, just fade into Tay Banks. But seriously though, that's a real human element that these players never.
It's going to help us in the cold. It's going to get cold at MetLife at the end of these seasons, and it's going to help to have a Skattebo.
Oh, absolutely, man. All right, let's get into some of this film breakdown there, bub. Oh, I absolutely love going over good film, putting it into, there we go. All right, first play we're going to start with, actually, though, is a negative play. It's the second play of the game. It's a dropped interception with Theo Johnson. You got Jahad Campbell ends up blitzing. And again, man, we're so lucky that this player doesn't end up securing this interception. And 2nd and 7, and just Theo's just so freaking slow to get it. Does he not expect the football to come to him or something?
Well,
Like,
this
why?
is the one after the play where Jaxson Dart was looking at Theo with his hands to his face back, like eyes, turn your eyes around, get your eyes on me. Like, I'm getting this ball out fast.
But like, I mean, yes, it is coming out fast, but that's not like this is like a football play right here. Especially like Theo should know there's a blitz. He should know, like, hey man, the football could be coming to me. But instead, he tries to like work inside, can't, and his head doesn't come around until the football hits the defender. Like, this is exactly what we've been talking about for like 3 weeks with Theo Johnson, Dan. It's like the play is exactly like this. Like, the football has been released. It's in the hands of somebody else. And then he's like looking at Jaxson Dart like, oh, is the football coming to me? It's like, come on, man. Be better than this. Be quicker than this. His play speed is an F when it comes to like this. When it comes to running routes, it's a freaking F. He really needs to improve upon this because he has so much damn potential, but it's obviously not putting it all together. And he's not playing nearly to the testing numbers that he had at the combine. Like, you got to be better than that, dude.
Which is interesting too, because I know despite that, and despite these moments like this, Jaxson Dart has a ton of faith in him. I heard a Jaxson Dart interview earlier this week where he was, what'd you say?
They're BFFs.
Yeah, an interview earlier this week where he was talking him up, and he was discussing, like, I remember back to the bowl game that we played against Penn State, and he was the guy who stood out to me, Theo Johnson, in that game. And then he mentioned, Dart mentioned his combine testing numbers, which I thought was just really interesting to hear Dart mention that or even care or know about that. But I think he thinks that this guy could end up being like a huge weapon for him in his career. So I think he'll continue to go to Theo.
I think Theo's going to be a big part of this offense.
Yep.
There's not a lot of like, dude, they're rolling out Bo Collins, Jalen Hyatt, Lil Jordan Humphrey. Like, Theo Johnson should be a big part of this offense. Like, if he's not, that's a problem for Theo Johnson. I'm hoping they will figure it out and he can pick up his speed a little bit more. Or maybe
he still does other things great, as we know.
Of course.
Has flash plays as a receiver and is a great blocker.
Yeah, just needs to improve on those. It's more so like, I'm not saying this guy is a terrible football player. I'm more so frustrated by Theo Johnson because I think Theo Johnson has so much potential, and little things like this are he's never going to actualize that potential if he can't come out of his break and look for a football when there's an obvious blitz and it's a one-on-one situation against a guy over the middle of the field. Like, you just got to be smarter than that.
Yeah, that's totally fair.
Already 3rd and 12. Lil Jordan Humphrey high points. This is a good route by Lil Jordan Humphrey. Like, we were chastising him a little bit and jibing him because of his
just on that go route. Yeah.
But look at this, man. He eats into the inside, and I feel like Keely Ringo does a great job staying on top of this. And it's just, I'm just gonna throw it high. Just gonna put it up high.
3rd and 12, by the way. A usual down that we're just done on as Giants fans. We've been used to just throwing underneath on these downs.
I know, man. And I absolutely love it. And create an explosive play, goes for 34 yards, 8 into this cushion. Let's watch that. Inside stem, go back to the outside. Played well by Keely Ringo, but it's just, I'm just going to moss you to the football. And also Jaxson Dart. Jaxson Dart's looking to the other side of the field, and that draws the middle of the field close safety against his cover 3 defense away. So you can see, look at that strike. Yeah. He held that safety in place the entire time. The safety stayed
knowing
there.
He was going to come back to this.
Yeah.
That's the thing, man. He's just so far advanced for what I feel like any rookie should be from a processing standpoint right now. That's by far and away the thing I'm most excited about with Dart right now.
And it's the timing too, man. The timing on this release. Like, he hits that back foot, right? Head snaps, ball out. Yep. And it's right when when Ojomo is right there. Releases that football, catchable ball. What do you have, like a 6 foot? Keely Ringo is probably like 6'2". Like, he's a big dude, but Lil Jordan Humphrey got some ups.
Speaking of that, I just thought this was an interesting note. On Twitter this morning, I saw that Kurt Warner got it, and I have a ton of respect for Kurt Warner's analysis of all quarterbacks. He got a chance to watch the Jaxson Dart tape, he said early this morning, and one of the things he pointed out was that in his mind how catchable of a football Jaxson Dart throws.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's really important, right? Like,
yeah.
We've talked about it in the past. We don't even bring it up again.
I know. But yeah, no, he definitely throws a very catchable football. Russell Wilson throws a very catchable football too. Doesn't mean you have everything else, but Jaxson Dart is showing a lot more. And look at this little hezzy move as the kids say, right?
Our boy.
Zach Bond.
My boy, at least.
I'm a big
fan. Rough game for Zach.
It was. Zach Bond lost his soul along the sideline.
Yeah, that's a rough game for Zach Bond.
Dude, Zach Bond got crushed by Cam Scataboo, bro. That was awesome. That was a Dart's rushing touchdown. Again, a 3rd and 8. Giants having answers on 3rd down. They were like 11 of 16 or something like that on 3rd down, whereas the Eagles were 1 of the 9, which I can't wait to go over on the next podcast. And now we're going to have a 2nd and 6. This is a 26 yard pass to Wan'Dale Robinson. And the ball is thrown behind, but Wan'Dale makes it work. Again, I want to
great adjustment by Wan'Dale.
Especially somebody who has like T-Rex arms, somebody who has a very small catch radius. It's hard for him, but he's able to do it. And Keely Ringo is not in phase because Wan'Dale ran a very good route and he flattened this out, right? Like, Wan'Dale keeps that flat he doesn't go up. He keeps it flat. And Keeley maybe thought I don't know what exactly he thought, because the safety was gaining so much depth because of the backside post from little Jordan Humphrey. That's another thing I'll say about the Eagles defense. Just like, they don't really have an identity either. Like, this team is lost. I don't know how they're
floundering, but they are 4-0 somehow because. And by the way, actually, let's look at this for a second. I wanted to bring this up.
Yeah.
This sometimes gets lost in our analysis, and it's always easy to see from the end zone angle. I just want to give a nod to how good the pass protection is on this play as well. Like,
look at Andrew Thomas, man.
Everything looks, Thomas on his island. Don't worry about me. Everything looks so much smoother and better for the Giants pass protection under Carm Brasillo, man. Like, the guys know where to be. There's plays like this where there's really just no pressure at all whatsoever.
Yeah, and they're creating explosive. Like, dude, we're still in the first quarter of the game right now. The Giants have 3 explosive plays.
Yeah.
3 explosive plays, 2 with the arm. 26-yard pass to Wan'Dale Robinson.
Just great pass protection right there.
I know, absolutely.
A great adjustment by Wan'Dale for sure.
Yes. Cover 1. Get that football out. Good read. Double crossers. All right, here's a 2nd and 9. Still in the first quarter. This is Wan'Dale Robinson's touchdown pass. Just another great individual effort by Wan'Dale.
Yep. A great example of like what we talked about last night, that Stefon Diggsism of like setting up your post-catch move just before the catch. And sometimes it will lead to mistakes. Like, you'll drop a football. I've seen receivers do that, but he's good enough to be able to do it here. And he sets himself up. Like, you could see as he catches that, watch his feet. Yep. He knows where he's going. He knows how to get around the defender because the defender is pursuing him from the back.
Makuba needs to do a better job. That's inexcusable. Yeah. But again, I like this play though, man, because you get the man coverage and you have Wan'Dale released to the inside, and then he goes underneath. So you have that like natural rub, that little exchange.
They do that a lot. Last week they did that too, the Giants a bunch.
And Makuba screws up here and he trips up Cooper DeJean. So Theo Johnson is wide open.
Yeah.
But I guess Jaxson Dart was hesitant, because he felt maybe a little bit of pressure, but he saw the safety wide. But this football, you could argue this isn't the best play by Jaxson Dart, because he's looking to escape when there was a pocket, and he had 2 receivers open at the point where he's looking to escape. He just felt the pressure from Jermaine Illuminor's side. But that's regardless of the point, because he still was able to stabilize despite the fact that he was under pressure. Credit to the offensive line, and then find an answer. Because dude, Wan'Dale's open for a while. Like, if Jaxson Dart suffered a sack on this play, and he didn't, but if he did, we would be crushing him for it, right?
Yeah.
So you have 2 guys wide open because Makuba messed up and tripped up Cooper DeJean. But damn, great play though. Great play by Wan'Dale Robinson. Good job by Jaxson Dart to find a solution. Excellent block downfield from little Jordan Humphrey. Love the energy from Devin Singletary as well.
Yeah, great block downfield. I'm glad you mentioned that. And, maybe not the best in structure play by Dart, but it does speak to what you're saying before, that little magic he has in the pocket to just understand where to step up, where to step back, and just get out of it. And then once you're out of it, it's a broken play. And sometimes like this can happen, and you'll see a wide open receiver just like he did. And he threw that ball with good velocity too on the run, by the way, placement.
Absolutely. Great.
I love that you put this on the film review.
Oh yeah. Quick curl, man. We talked a lot about his quick game
anticipation, baby.
Anticipation. This is a simple play, but it's a 3rd and 6. You have a 3-by-1 set. Little Jordan Humphrey is your lone receiver outside the numbers with the ball splitting the hashes. So there's no boundary. There's no field side here. And he takes the football. He looks, he sees the safety stay in place, knows he has the one-on-one. I'm sure he had some sort of cue, or there's something within the playbook, depending on the leverage of Keely Ringo. Little Jordan Humphrey will know what to run, which route to run. So here it's going to be a curl, and the football is out before little Jordan Humphrey even gets into this curl, right? Like, that is throwing with the anticipation. That's trusting your receiver to be where he needs to be. And again, this is a practice squad receiver, one who ran a wrong route earlier in the game, right?
Right.
But here he trusted it. Football is coming out. Little Jordan Humphrey turns around. Keely Ringo has no opportunity.
Right there.
The ball's right there.
And the types of plays
strong hands catch.
Yeah, strong hands catch. Glad you pointed that out. But these are the types of plays from a timing and anticipation standpoint that if you can get down, they're basically unguardable in a lot of ways.
I know, bro. This is I want to see this from Jaxson Dart. This is this is just playing within the structure of your offense, but simple might not be the correct word, because it's not always simple to do.
Nobody does it. Yeah, there's so few quarterbacks can do it consistently.
Yeah, but if he can do this consistently and have those other throws, that's right. Where good quarterbacks are. That's what a good quarterback is, And here you're going to see it again. Another play. It's a quick game. Now it's another 3-by-1 set with Jalen Hyatt to the boundary side as a lone receiver. You could see the pre-snap leverage from the cornerback. It's inside and high. So he's about 8 yards, 9 yards off of Jalen Hyatt. Jaxson Dart, you can see as he's hiking this football down, look at his eyes. He's peeking over there. He's like, did he jump up? No, he's staying. Oh, he's gaining depth. I know I have Jalen Hyatt to the outside because of the leverage of number 8 there. I'm going to fire it to the outside. That's pinpoint ball placement right there, Dan. How cool is that? 3rd and 4.
I mean, everything you just broke down is what makes that so cool. His understanding of where the safety is, his understanding of the cornerback's leverage, and then his understanding of where he needs to put the football. And then finally, his ability to put the football where he needs to put it after understanding all 3 of those things in real time and keeping the play on time. It's unbelievable, really.
It's great, dude.
It's simple. It's a 5-yard. People are probably listening. Some people are probably listening. Are you guys seriously juicing up a 5-yard or 6-yard pass? The answer is yes. It was a 3rd down.
Yes. There's anybody who loves football should love this play. It's simple. It's just a quick curl, but you have a rookie quarterback who is operating the offense in the manner that he's operating the offense and understood the leverage and understood where to go with this football, understood how it would be open, delivered it with velocity. And then to cap it all up, we haven't even mentioned this point, Dan, Jalen Hyatt actually caught it. That's crazy.
Right. Yeah.
That was his first catch of the game for 5 yards. Just love Dart's eyes on that throw. And next we're going to have I think this is the same play, but you can see look at the eyes though here. Hold the safety, hold it, and then I'm just going to snap and throw.
Yeah, snap it through. And then put the ball right where you need to.
Now we're going to have a GH counter for 6 yards. This is the play we were going over before. Just love this, Mr. And look how poor Cooper DeJean just got murdered here, bro. He got ran over by Cam Scataboo.
Initiates contact so often. If you're playing the Giants now, you have to deal with this dude. And this is not easy to just not everybody's gonna want to physically fill this thing and try to knowing this is coming at you. And he's not trying to avoid you, he's coming at you.
Yes, this is such a well-designed play too, man. Because you have the pony package, and everybody thinks it might be going to Tyrone Tracy Jr. John Runyon, excellent job blocking Byron Young here, right? Excellent job blocking Byron Young, allowing Andrew Thomas to climb to the mic. And then you're going to have the kick out from Greg Van Roten, the guard. And then Daniel Bellinger handles the will well, just by blocking him. You see Jahad Campbell come down. He's the will, gets hit by Daniel Bellinger. And then you have Cam Scataboo just run through Cooper DeJean. And it's only a 6-yard game, but that is an impressive, well-blocked, tone-setting 6-yard game.
Agreed.
In the first half. Here is... We already went over this play, but the throw to little Jordan Humphrey, that's just a phenomenal pass. Again. Yeah, unfortunately.
That arm slot change, the ability to get the ball up and down, drop it right in a bucket.
Right in the book.
Type of stuff I love to watch.
Here's another power run by the Giants. This is the first touchdown for Cam Scataboo. Did not seem like Reed Blankenship wanted anything to do with Cam Scataboo here. Greg Van Roten comes right around, kick out block. Daniel Bellinger blocks down to help Andrew Thomas against Ty Robinson. That was your boy in that draft, I think, if I'm not mistaken, right? You like Ty Robinson, the Nebraska kid. But look, man, they put 4 guys all within the tackle box. They're just boxing up. So the Giants are, we're going to run off tackle. We're going to pull the guard. We're going to block down.
Right.
And we're going to successfully just cruise into the end zone. So
you're right about Reed Blankenship there.
Oh, yeah. I think Wan'Dale brought that up after the game. So I don't think that safety wanted anything to do with Skattebo.
Really?
Yeah. All right. Here we're going to have 1st and 10. This is just a quick game. This is another quick game example that I wanted to add in here. Look at the eyes, the release, velocity, just 6 yards. Just 6 yards. Because Theo Johnson's coming over on the motion. He's going to expand Jahad Campbell, and then little Jordan Humphrey is going to replace him. 32 also expands with Theo Johnson, and then it's just little Jordan Humphrey against a safety driving downhill, but about 4 or 5 yards depth. So Jaxson Dart makes the decision to throw it there, and it's successful. Quick decisions, decisive decisions that are working out in the quick game. You can see it from the end zone angle. Hands catch again. Strong hands. Love to see that. Love to see it.
Good point. There's another thing he added to the game, just that the ability to have probably the strongest hands on the receiver core.
Yeah, I'd have to say in this game, even though he dropped the one, but just from catching a velocity, the ball that's coming out
and
really
attacking
fast.
the football with his hands.
Now here's a crack toss. Absolutely love it. The crack thrower here is little Jordan Humphrey blocking down on the edge. And then he kicked Jermaine Illuminor into space. Great block. Theo Johnson lead block. And it's just Cam Scataboo against Zach Bond. And Zach Bond
Johnson just eliminates 24 from this play.
Oh, yeah. Makuba had no chance.
I also love the little things. At the end of that run, Skattebo, as he's going toward the out of bounds, just planting his foot and just throwing his body vertically to get that extra 2 yards.
Yeah.
It's just so nice. He just vertically threw himself, and Dart did one of those too on a 3rd and down run, a 3rd.
He might get in trouble for that one. I think he's gonna get fined for that.
Oh, because you're not supposed to lead with your
helmet. He led with the crown of his helmet.
Interesting.
When I saw it, I was like, I'm pretty sure I'm glad we didn't get a penalty, but I'm pretty sure he's gonna
that would have been devastating.
All right. Here we have
This is the Wan'Dale throw we were talking about at the top of the show.
Yep, the throw to Wan'Dale. This is just a great job by Jaxson Dart. Hits his back foot. I like how he checks. Look, dude, he checks to the right to see exactly what's going on with Theo Johnson.
Yep.
Sees that it's not there, understands that Zach Bond is now on Daniel Bellinger, and the safety took Daniel Bellinger as well, which was a mistake. And Dart quickly saw that it was one-on-one outside leverage and just fired the football into Wan'Dale Robinson to convert on third down.
Yep, that's what we were talking about before. You can watch the stripe of his helmet. He sees it, knows how to create the time. Like in my mind, I love once he sees it, just this little subtle step back he takes in the pocket to create himself more space and a better angle to throw the football. Because he knows he could still do that and throw it on time, which he proves that he can because the ball comes out on time and hits him in stride.
I know that's beautifully done. Beautifully done.
That's an A+ quarterbacking right there.
Absolutely. And then you also have Skattebo and pass it. Look, Skattebo matches Jihad. Jihad Ward acts as if he's going through the A and then goes to the backside A, and Scat's like, nah, bro, I'm right here. I'm going to hug you. I'm going to give you a big old hug.
And it's a good job by Wan'Dale to hold on to the football too.
Yeah, I feel like when Wan'Dale gets hit, it's like he pinballs off people.
Yeah,
like kind of flies around. He has like so much
that happens to Skattebo sometimes too.
Yeah, there's just so much velocity and how he runs, so much force. All right, 1st and 10. Dart is going to quickly see this blitzer and just replace the blitzer. You're gonna have 0 out over Wan'Dale Robinson. He's gonna go in on the blitz.
He was reading blitzes really well.
Yeah, and again, like 0 more than likely wasn't going to cover Wan'Dale, so it's one of those pre-snap things that I'm sure Dart was checking on. And then as the safety, Sidney Brown rotated down, he already knew. And Wan'Dale does an excellent job presenting his numbers and making the catch and getting out of bounds. Or that's not Brown, that's Epps, but either way, you get what I'm saying. But yeah, I think that's all the plays that I have. I wanted to get the Theo Johnson throw. Here,
I have that.
Okay, cool. I guess I didn't add it.
Let's
go over that one and do some superlatives. Man, this is fun film to go over, man, especially when you have this young quarterback and he may just develop. Again, development isn't always, the trajectory isn't always linear, but it's exciting times. Here, we'll get this play up with the Theo Johnson.
I got the end zone too, if we can run after this.
Yeah. This is just a phenomenal
3rd and 8, by the way.
Phenomenal play.
What a solution to find on 3rd and 8. I mean, the Eagles send pressure here with an extra defender. He knows he's about to get hit, and he still delivers a perfect ball.
And Theo Johnson also runs over 8 for some extra yards.
Yes. Theo Johnson's a good athlete in that regard.
Oh, yeah. He's a big physical guy.
Big physical guy, right.
I just
also
don't think his feet are always
the best footwork for Jaxson Dart, but it's crazy that he's able to locate the football. Like this is pinpoint placement from far hash, despite having that kind of footwork. Honestly, he has a lot of it. Leads me to believe, Nick, that he does have a lot of just natural arm talent. And again, I'm sure if you can marry the footwork, you can start to drive the football more.
I mean, he didn't really have an opportunity to.
No, not here, but I mean, it's still crazy that he'll be able to get that off from that base.
That's just odd. It was right where it needed to be, too.
That's what I mean, dude, in front of the receiver.
You got to think, man, like Dart's eyes and his arm are working together right now already in his career, right?
Yeah.
Like with plays like this, it's like he knows where to go with the football. He understands that the defense isn't going to be there, and then he makes them pay with his arm. That's an impressive skill set to have at this young of an age. People be like, oh, well, he threw 2 interceptions last week. Neither of those interceptions were Jaxson Dart's fault. One of them was essentially a punt, and the other one was Bo Collins quitting on
4th down. And one was a 4th down. The other was on Bo Collins. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's fun times right now, guys.
Really,
this was
an
exciting film, and it was against not the Jags, not the Texans, not a team like that. This was against the Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles that I'm pretty sure everybody who listens to this podcast despises.
Yeah, and were they down 2 of their best defenders? Sure, but guess what? The Giants are down players too. It's the NFL. There's a ton of injuries across the board.
I'm not even going to entertain we didn't have. Yes, I'm aware Jalen Carter is a difference maker.
And Quinyon Mitchell was a big loss.
100%. Yeah, we don't have Malik Neighbors or Darius.
Yeah, we got some guys running routes that you probably never heard of.
Spare me. You had little Jordan Humphrey catching 34-yard bombs. This guy was chilling on our practice squad. Okay, we targeted 3 of our receivers and beat them with a variety of different personnel packages employed in a creative way. Vic Fangio was out-coached. Kevin Patullo was out-coached. Nick Sirianni was out-coached. Giant fans should be happy about this because, we don't know the fate of Brian Daboll right now. I don't know if I buy into Brian Daboll, right? I would say no at this point unless he can consistently consistently deliver like he did in week 6 against the Philadelphia Eagles, but it's a good step in the right direction that our coaches actually put our players into a position to thrive, and the players executed. And it was a complete game plan to a Giants victory against a competent opponent.
Well said. Very well said. All right, let's get to our superlatives then. Let's start with your unheralded player of the game.
I wanted to go Wan'Dale Robinson, but I just think that's like I think everyone's probably heralding him. So I went with Austin Schlottmann.
He's too heralded, I guess.
Way too heralded, man.
I mean, for the exercise, there's literally no other pick you can make but Austin Schlottmann. As you kind of saw in our breakdown of those 9 plays, he looked good there. He honestly looked good across the board, I thought, since he went after coming and played for over a half. So he deserves the title, but I also put in some runner-ups for me. Lil Jordan Humphrey for the blocks downfield, for the receptions that he made. And then Jalen Hyatt, not heralded, afterthought for most. Not an insanely good game, but drew a PI, which I still think deserved to be called. If he doesn't have his right arm pinned down, he's going to make that touchdown catch. So that's PI. That's the definition of PI in my mind. I know some people have discussed that online. I know that some people thought it was a BS call or whatnot. And then made some big catches as the ones we showed in this game. So, and then had one later in the game too, just a quick outbreak in route that Dart took, and he made the play on that too. So he's like the runner up for me.
It's PI. My issue, I think, with Jalen Hyatt is I think there are just the vast majority of receivers would have been able to get their hand free there. And I just
because he's not strong enough.
He just not strong enough too.
Well, also, and if not, isn't he supposed to separate better?
I mean, it's the condensed field. He's in the back of the end zone, but I think overall,
a 4-3 athlete.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know that play is the best representation of his separation ability.
Well, no,
I don't think he creates a separation that I necessarily want. I do think he looks smooth when he's gazelling into space on several different occasions, but it's not translating to, I have a defensive back in front of me. I need to find a way to get around him and then stack on top of him. Like, he can run fast, like if he has a straightaway, but he's not. But people are staying on top of him because they know that his really only way to beat you is by running fast. And I don't think a lot of these cornerbacks are falling for the other things. And I don't think he's a skilled enough receiver quite yet to win in other ways. He kind of, unfortunately, is the one-trick pony that a lot of people said he was coming out of Tennessee. And you and I were like, yeah, man, maybe we'll see.
He made some big catches though in this game that were less of one trick and more of like tough catches in contested situations. I mean,
he's a wide receiver, Dan. Of course, he should make that catch.
But
yeah,
they haven't used him in that way at all. And I'll say this: I don't want to say I would push back, but I've been a little bit disappointed in his ability to win over the top in general, just like this actual raw speed on the field, just because I remember watching him at Tennessee and it just looked at a different level. But again, that's like against college athletes, it's always going to change. You just never know.
System too.
And the Josh Heupel system. And before he added this, 5-10 pounds of muscle, which I'm never a huge fan of athletes at the skill positions adding personally.
Let's see if I can look up his miles per hour, but until then,
good point.
Get into our best throw of that.
Yeah, I mean, look, the best throw on tape is obviously the Jalen Hyatt drop that went for an OPI, and that's fine. But I'll also put in there the red zone throw to Humphrey that we went over and the 3rd and 8 to Theo Johnson that we went over. I think those are also in the mix.
Jalen Hyatt's fastest speed so far this season was just over 20 miles per hour. I think he can get faster than that.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like he's at Tennessee, it was probably higher than that, I would imagine.
Didn't his rookie season he clocked like 22, or was that preseason? His rookie season, everyone was like freaking out. So my best throw too was the Jalen Hyatt drop, but there are like probably like six.
We went over him. Yeah,
it's crazy. Like, we don't usually have that many.
Yep, best player on tape overall.
I had to go with Jaxson Dart.
So this is a tough one for me. It's close. I do feel like Dart essentially played an almost flawless game. But almost is probably the right word for it.
Yeah.
And another player on the Giants did play a flawless game, and it was Andrew Thomas. So I ultimately went with Andrew Thomas. It depends how you want to do the criteria. Jaxson, a quarterback means more than a left tackle. So if you weigh it on that system, it probably does belong to Dart. But Thomas is a flawless player almost, basically, at this point.
Yeah, he's amazing. He did have, I think, 1 or 2 mistakes in this game.
Yeah.
I was like, you never see that?
But even when you see, even in Andrew Thomas' mistake, it's like, well, he's on an island, and it's like, and then after you see, for me at least, what he offered in the run game, it's like that changed a lot of what the Giants were able to do in the run game this week and last week. So it's close. I'm okay going with Dart. I think I'll give it I'll change my opinion to a tie.
Yeah. Player we expected to see more from.
I went with Daniel Bellinger, not in the sense of he played bad, in the sense of I just expected him to be a bigger part of the passing game after last week. So I was a little bit surprised to see his role scaled back in the passing game.
I said Tyrone Tracy Jr., but I didn't really expect too much from him.
In his first game back.
Yeah, he just had one really bad run, really, or run
That
where
one he bounced outside. Yeah,
that put the Giants in like a third and short situation. All right,
I would like to see more though from Tracy moving forward, as far as just how they use him and what he can mean to the offense. Some of those plays they can get him the ball, in my opinion, in space and let him show off. Because I feel like a lot of his runs in this game, he didn't have too much of an opportunity to do that much. But if you can get him the ball more in space. And again, I'd love to see a screen at some point from this offense, but it doesn't appear to be coming. Maybe we can start to see what he showed on tape last year more.
All right, pass blocking.
For this one, I went 9.1 for this one.
Oh, I went 9.2, bro.
Okay. Run blocking.
7.8.
I went with 7.1 for this one. Definitely good. But I really want to focus on the pass blocking grade. I think that's the highest grade we've given to a Giants pass blocking grade since we started doing this podcast. I went back and looked for myself, and I couldn't see anything. I don't remember any in the 9s. For both of us, I should say.
Yeah, I mean, I want to say we've given 9 now before, but
both of us, I'm not sure.
Oh, both of us? Yeah, maybe not.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, but very good blocking. Very impressed. Great win. Gotta seize this. Carry it into Denver. Denver is in England right now? They're in London. So Denver had to travel to Philadelphia, then go back to Denver, and then go all the way to London and play the Jets this week at 9:30 a.m. on Sunday, and then they got to go back to Colorado, and then they host us next week, the Giants. Can the Giants take advantage of all of that travel and hopefully find a way to win that football game? Because then it would be insane going into Philadelphia the next week.
It's tough to win in Denver, obviously, with the altitude. The altitude kills you. But it is tougher to win in Denver in September by the numbers, for what it's worth. So just something to keep an eye on. But we'll see. It's going to be a long week the Giants have. It's like a mini bye, which is awesome for them. All right. Thanks again for listening to the Big Blue Banter podcast. If you enjoyed the show, please hit the like button right now. Just go hover over your mouse and click the like button. Then also leave us a comment and subscribe to the channel as well. Otherwise, have a great rest of your week, and we'll talk to you soon.